Go live. Alright, I'm live. Should also start in a second here on my YouTube.
Just give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna adjust. We have something to see.
Alright, I'm live.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to our talk here. Shield and me decided to do a little talk about the server situation from Project Epoch. And yeah, Shield is with me.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, we just wanted to have a little chat about the whole ordeal with the launch and everything. Yeah.
So
that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah. We just had an announcement from the Project Epoch dev, K-Totes, in the Discord server. And I don't know if you guys have seen it already, but I made a screenshot of it and we want to talk a little bit about it and give our opinions about it. So
yeah, should I share that on stream? I could do that.
I
think there are some people who can't. Yeah, there are some people who can't get access to the Discord. So I might as well just share it.
Yeah. While you share it, yeah, Classic Plus Warcraft Reborn is coming soon. Someone is noticing it in my chat here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But there's really nothing new here. I told some other guy who's streaming as well. I think it'll come, like they will come back up in the weekend or something. Project Epoch. I don't think we'll see it come online during the weekdays.
Yep. That's also what they wrote on the Discord announcement. Basically, they say they're working really hard right now to fix the issues, but they are a bit more complicated than they expected first. And it will take more days, maybe even a week, to fix them now. So there probably will be a new launch date, I guess.
Do you think they're going to do a relaunch?
Yeah, I think in last announcement in Discord on the updates, they say they don't want to do it. But with this long period it takes to re-release, basically, it would make sense, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one, right? Because already people have started, and people haven't gotten that far ahead. Like, it's capped to level 15, so it's not bad if they don't do a relaunch, because it's still like kind of a fresh. Everything's still kind of fresh. There's the thing with the gold. People were getting extra gold for completing quests because they were hitting level cap, which was reduced to level 15, so they were sitting on around 30 gold. A lot of people, but that's gonna be removed.
Yeah, and K-Totes also did a post and updates about this one. It's not like most players are astronomical ahead. It's just about 30 gold or something like this, which isn't even an amount. I mean, of course, it is a bit of using the situation for your own thing, but it's not that bad. And people who got more will all get they take it away from them.
Yeah, and it's not malicious intent from those people. I think a lot of people were just completing quests, not even realizing that they were getting a lot of gold, and of course they'll continue, because why not? Why should you not continue if you see you're earning a lot of gold? So I don't really think that it necessarily is because people want to be malicious or want to exploit. It's just part of, what people do.
I think I have to disagree a little bit. I think the ones who exploited this were very willing to do it. I can guess that. I mean, they already said if you can exploit often, right? That's something they always did when Blizzard launch as well. So I think it was intentional.
Yeah, well, true, but you can't really do much else, can you? It's not like you had to go out of your way to do it. It's not like you had to do something very complex in order to achieve this extra gold. You had to just do whatever you were doing anyway, which was questing. So it's not like I think, in my opinion, I think an exploit requires you to, for it to be an exploit, it requires you to do something that's, you have to go kind of out of your way to do it. But it's definitely a gray area right now, because I think a lot of people were just doing quests and not realizing they were getting a lot of gold until they suddenly saw that they were getting a lot of gold. So those people, can't really blame them, in my opinion. And then, of course, there will be some that say, oh, I'm getting a lot of gold, let me continue to this. But again, it's not like jumping on the roof in a battleground with the flag, and now players can't reach you, and you can just, kill the entire enemy team before you jump back in and deliver the flag in your base or something. It's not an exploit to that degree, in my opinion.
Have you done that before?
No, but I saw that. a Turtle WoW streamer called Big. He did that, and he got I don't know, for 24-hour ban or something, because he was safe spotting in a battleground. That just came up to my mind,
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand your picture there. Yeah. What are your opinions about this launch, Hilde? What do you think about it?
Well, it's bad. It's a failure, for sure. It is a failure. But, I don't really think we've ever seen a server, even going back to Nostarius, that was this much hype behind it and this much pressure for so many people to get into the server all at once. So, and it's a new project. Of course, you could say Nostarius was also a new project, but it was already kind of tested a bunch more than this was, as far as I remember. So I think it's kind of okay that it was a failure if you look at the hype behind it, because a lot of people wanted to play and they never expected. Even K-Toads himself said in an interview they never expected more than a couple of thousand people, and that was also from the stress test that showed what the server could handle, a couple of thousand people, no problem.
Yeah.
But as soon as we went to 3,000 people, that's where everything broke and the server went down.
I mean, to be fair, there were a lot of people on the Discord server. The hype was a little bit foreseeable, I think. To some degree, at least, I would say.
Yeah, at least at the end.
Yeah.
But they had a month to prepare for all of this, right?
Yeah.
Because the Discord was setting at around 5,000 people. The 20th of June.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the 20th of June and up until now the Discord is at 22,000 people. That's a lot of extra people in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So they can't, I don't know if maybe they could do something, but it's not really infrastructural. I think it's not really, well, it is infrastructural in a sense of code, but it's not really infrastructural in the sense of them lacking servers or lacking hardware. It's a software problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a coding problem.
Yeah, that's what they also said in their announcement and update. They have the best hardware which is possible. They prepared for a lot of players, but it seems like it's a coding thing. I'm not an IT guy, so it's hard for me to validate this information. But yeah, I think for me, I trusted that. I think they are doing a great job. And if you think about it, what they are doing the last days since launch, they are working basically 24 hours. They try to get as much help as possible from other developers as well. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit disappointing for all of us, for sure. But I think they are doing their best to get the server running.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks. But they are hobbyists. They are not professional developers. They
absolutely right.
It started with one guy, the founder, having a vision for a Classic Plus and saying that he didn't really care how many people came and played it. It could be a 100, it could be a few thousand, but he never expected there to be 30,000 people wanting to jump in on day one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I also think about him. I mean, this is no big company like Blizzard is, for example. This is just a small dev team, just someone who wants to realize his own version of Classic Plus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with such a small team, something like this can happen. And I think it's not cool. Of course, we all were hyped for it. We all want to play this version of World of Warcraft because we all think it's good. But I mean, it can happen even from Blizzard, when Blizzard launched their own version as a multi-international company with a lot of money in the background. There were also, it was also not possible to play for the first week, for example, when they re-released World of Warcraft. So that's
in 2019. You're talking about 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they had a lot of experience, and even they fucked up royally. So you can't really, I can't really be mad at a small indie private server modding community that doesn't even do this full time. They just do it for a hobby.
Yep,
like
exactly.
In my opinion, I wouldn't lose any sleep over this because it's just a private server. It's just, we're lucky if we get in, but I want to get in, of course, and I understand that people took holiday and everything off to, play the game and stuff, but that's just how it is when it's so much hype. Had it only been 2,000 people and had it grown slowly, just like Turtle WoW did, it grew slow. It started with 300 people and now grown to 10,000 or more with a South American server and 2, or is it 1 Chinese server, a PvP server in EU and a PvE server. With what do they have for, like, well over, I think, 20,000 people, if not more, maybe 25,000 people in total if you count all regions in. They've grown this over time slowly, being able to build the infrastructure to be able to handle that capacity. So of course it's tough when so many people want to join.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I don't understand is why people are starting to insult the devs and stuff like this on the Discord. I mean, this is just going a bit too far, right?
Yeah, that's too much.
That's something I will never understand, if I'm honest. I don't know. It's I mean, as I said a few times now, I can understand that you are passionate about this and that you want to play the game and stuff like this, but this should never be a reason to insult those guys, right?
No, that's too much. They are just hobbyists. They're not you haven't paid anything. They're not a AAA company. They're just a bunch of dudes who had a vision and wanted to make something cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've been getting a ton of comments. I should probably go through some of them.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
People are just writing, so let me just scroll to the top. It's going to take some time. Some kind of epic bounce back for this to not be considered a fail. Cringe AF Project M-Perk. What does that stand for? I don't know.
I don't know either. No, sorry.
MP. Do you guys think that there is even a shot of them trying to open rooms back up this weekend? Or is it just wishful thinking? I'm guessing, Kendall, I'm guessing that they will be opening the weekend. Come the weekend, they'll probably attempt to open again. But I don't think... I've seen a ton of people on YouTube streaming that they're constantly trying to log in. I think that's kind of futile. I don't think it'll happen during the weekdays. It'll come maybe Friday or Saturday. They'll try to open up again. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, there are also people who try to snipe the GitHub. And as soon as there is a change, they try to log in, right? I heard that from
That's
people.
not how it works. It's like, why? You're gonna play alone then? Maybe if you get in, you'll get in with a few people. I wanna experience that in big launch with, I don't know, 15,000 people online at the same time. That's epic to me. I just think it's fun, even though I can't do any quests because it's so overcrowded. I just feel like it's how it's supposed to be, and that's what I want to experience.
Yeah,
I get a rush from that.
My chat guesses it takes up to 1 to 2 weeks probably until they fix it. So I think it's optimistic to say it's on the weekend. Maybe, yeah. Maybe if they really get it done. But I also think it might take up at least a week, I would guess. But I don't know either. If it's on Saturday or something like this, I would be totally in. Would be absolutely great.
I think they're gonna. That's if I were a betting man, that's what I bet on. I bet on the weekend, this weekend, the coming weekend, Saturday, something. Yeah. What shall we bet?
Yeah, that's a question.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good question.
We can think about this later on.
Yeah. We could do a community poll after this. I could do a community poll on my communities tab and see what people vote 1 week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We could actually do it in the chat. Let me just do that. Start a community poll.
Yeah. In between, I will read a comment from my subscriber Nerdman here. He said, but I think it's better they let it down until they fix everything. And I totally agree here. I think it's better they take the time they need right now to fix the problems they have than just release it and they have to take it down again and it will be buggy again. So just take your time, fix it now, get it to work, and it's better for everyone and for the whole project. These days, bro, is writing, this is so disappointing. Yeah, I mean, we all were hyped for it, but it is what it is, right? We just have to be, patient.
I just did a poll. I can see how it's, people are leaning towards you. 2 weeks.
I should
75% of people are voting 2 weeks right now. 76%. It's constantly changing. It got 50-ish votes right now.
So the question is, what do we play in the meantime?
I'm just gonna be playing Turtle WoW. That's where I came from. That's where I'm going back to. We could also talk about the new video from what's it called? Ascension Reborn.
Ooh, well, yeah.
Warcraft Reborn. Yeah, that's
from Ascension. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen. I had your video open in a tab, but I haven't seen it yet. And I watched the Hunter deep dive video they made. Yeah. That was very intriguing to watch. I'm very interested in what that's all about. But again, I'm not. I read through some of it on the webpage. I actually want to do a video, but I could do it on stream maybe. I think they're really going to change a lot.
Oh yeah. I did my reaction to the Hunter video as well. It will come out tomorrow on my channel. And I was thinking about you when I did it. You're the Hunter guy.
I am the Hunter guy. I loved a lot of things that I saw from that video. It was really intriguing, and all the details you can go into and the specs, different specs you could go into.
Yeah.
But it was kind of then I read the rest on their webpage and I was like, oh, that's a lot of changes. So yeah, a little bit more retail-esque than Epoch and a lot more than Turtle WoW.
Yeah, absolutely true. Maybe some comment I wrote here in my chat. You can't play Warcraft Reborn right now if you haven't paid for it. You have to get a bundle. It's about $20 or something like this to get early access to play it. But
Yeah.
it will be free as soon as they release, so you don't have to pay if you wait a bit longer. That's just the information I want to give all of you guys.
Yeah. It's closed beta right now, and you need to pay, right, to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So as soon as they open up, it'll be free. But will there be pay-to-win features? I don't know. Do you know?
Yes, a little bit. On normal Ascension, you can also buy bundles and stuff, which is a little bit helping in the game. You can earn everything with time, and it's not really pay to win, but it's helping. But you don't have to pay money there to get ahead.
Okay.
Well, I guess that will also be the system on their new realm. I guess it's just for normal Ascension like this.
Someone says Ascension is like Season of Discovery Plus, not Classic Plus. Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with that. If you really like the maybe like the Season of Discovery, you'd probably like Ascension as well. If you didn't like Season of Discovery because you think Season of Discovery had too many changes, probably won't like Ascension.
Yeah, especially they put so much in the open world, which you can find, all those rune things you can get, all those enchants on the new Ascension realm. You can all find this. So this is Season of Discovery on steroids, basically. You can just walk everywhere and find stuff, which is cool, which is really cool in my opinion.
Make some very interesting builds.
Yeah.
My biggest worry when it comes to something like that is will they be able to balance PvP?
No.
And not. That's really, for me, that can be a game breaker for me.
I don't know if there will be arena or 1v1 arena or stuff like this.
I think there will, because I think I read that on the on their webpage. So I think there will be.
I mean, what I don't like about Ascension, the normal Ascension version at least, is the gearing system, because while you level, you get so much gear that it just doesn't matter until you hit level 60, and then you have to do a mythic rating and stuff like this to get just higher item levels. And this gearing system is a bit boring in my opinion. It's not vanilla WoW, you know what I mean? You get in vanilla or Project Epoch or Total WoW or stuff like this. You go into a raid, you roll that item you want all the time, and you are happy about it. Or even while leveling, you find a green item and you think, wow, that's so cool. It's an upgrade to my character. And it just, it's rewarding you. But the gearing system on Project not on Project Epoch, sorry, on Ascension is not rewarding in my opinion.
Yeah, too much retail, leaning too much towards retail.
Yeah.
I think,
But I'm looking forward to the class changes of especially Paladin. This looks, when I saw the Hunter gameplay and playstyles, that was really, really cool. I hope they do this. I hope it's also cool for Paladin.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see at least how much hype there is behind Ascension's Warcraft Reborn thing compared to Epoch. I think I don't know, man, but I don't think it'll be as much as Epoch because it's leaning too much towards retail with their systems. But I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I get your point for sure, yeah. Yeah, the question is, Ascension is one of the longest World of Warcraft private servers out there existing. And they know what they do, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And
they probably won't have any launch issues.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I mean, they do this for so long now. And they can just use their working system for their Classic Plus version, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they have everything figured out, but they are a huge team and probably have tons of money to pour into it as well.
Yeah, so I think people are looking forward to it. At least when I look at the YouTube videos, they have a lot of views. I'm not in the Discord server at the moment. Well, I am, but I haven't looked into it. I don't know how the hype is there or how the hype feels there.
I don't know either. I haven't joined the Discord either. So I got no clue. But I'm just gonna sit at the sidelines, just watching what's going on, and we'll see if it's something that I want to cover on my channel as well. But for now, my main focus is, of course, Project Epoch, and hopefully they'll get the servers up and running, and hopefully by the weekend. Let's see how many people voted. Yeah, it's sitting at 189 votes, and 68% votes on 2 weeks is what it's gonna take to get ready, and 32% votes are 1 week. But I'm sticking to my 1 week.
We
guys.
should have
I think
that.
they'll be I think they'll be up and running during come this weekend.
Yeah, would be great.
I think it's gonna be I think if they don't get it up running this weekend, it'll have some really bad implications for the amount of people that are like. I don't think that many people will be playing then. I think the hype will die down a lot if they don't get it up and running during this week. I think people can stick around for a week, and then I think they start, like, already I see so many comments and so many people, losing interest and going back to something else because the launch failed. Maybe those people would have gone anyway. Who knows? But I think it would have been better for them to be able to capitalize on the hype.
Yeah.
In an overall population sense. But then again, it's not their goal. I know that.
I'm a bit torn apart about this because I think on the one hand, for sure, if they would have capitalized on the hype, it would be awesome because we would have so many players right now playing if the launch would have worked out. But on the other hand, people are hungry for Classic Plus, right? So even if they go away now, I'm pretty sure they will come back when the server's running. Because there is no alternative right now, except for Total War. Yeah, we know that, but nothing new.
Nothing fresh. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think, that's you're probably right. They will be returning because there's not really anything else. Then you have TBC coming soon. I think a lot of people also want to play that. But I think that's going to be the same shit show again with the boosted characters, and you can officially buy a level boost from Blizzard themselves, and maybe even a token. What's it called? The
WoW token, you mean?
Yeah, the WoW token. Yeah, exactly. I think at least the boost is returning. Maybe also the WoW token.
For sure.
And all the bots will still be there. Shelley, can you go ChatGPT and explain the implemented phasing in the WoW server Trinity Core? Shall I do that?
What was it? You shall fix the Trinity Core? Do that, Sheldon.
I'll do that. No problem.
Go ahead. Do it now. So we can all play, right?
Let's see what ChatGPT says. Trinity Core, because the Trinity Core, that's what they're running on, right?
That's their engine, basically. So what I got. So while you are speaking with ChatGPT, I will read something from my chat. The people who joined 1 week ago wanted to be resolved in 1 week. Rest of us who have been here for a few years will play. Yeah, that's a really good comment because I'm also waiting for Project Epoch for a few years now. I'm following this project for so long right now. After Dusk Haven closed, when I had to stop playing with my guild back in the day, and I was looking for an alternative, and Project Epoch was already then in development, and I thought this looks so cool. So I think I saw a video from McDoubles back in the day from Overhaul the Deadmines, and I thought I want to play this so bad. So I will absolutely also stay. So great comment from David here. I totally agree.
I'm not going to go ahead right now on this stream to read all of this, but you guys can pause the video if you want to and read it all. It's talking mostly about phasing and how phasing was used in Wrath of the Lich King. As far as I've just skimmed over it. And maybe that's going to be a problem for them if they do phasing, but I don't think they are doing any phasing, are they?
I don't think they want to, right?
I don't know.
So I read something about multi-threading and stuff like this, but it's too much technology for me. I'm not an IT guy, so I have to trust that they choose the right decisions to get the server running.
Yeah.
I will read another comment. Claudio wrote, I think if they would fix it, people may understand, but that time, no more crashes and stuff like that, only the fine wine gameplay. Classic Plus is fine wine, by the way. Yeah, true. Classic Plus is the fine wine we all want to drink, right?
It's an old-ass core. Yeah, but the
Are you a
Trinity
wine
Core
guy?
Me?
Yeah.
I like red wine. I don't like white wine.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have thought you were a wine guy.
Yeah, well, it's not something that I drink on the regular, but with a good dinner and stuff, I'd be drinking wine. I can do a glass of wine.
Not bad. I'm more of a beer guy, but I'm from Germany, and I think that's in my blood.
I think the only kind of beer I like the crappies, if you know those. Those are special beers, like cider-like beer. And then I have Grimbergen. I like those as well. That's pretty much the only two.
Okay.
I could do a Guinness, but it's really, I think it's a little bit harsh on my stomach.
Oh, yeah. You can drink a Guinness. Kilkenny is better than Guinness, in my opinion, if you are at an Irish pub.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, but that's just everyone has its own taste, like.
Yeah.
Otorak, you love Dusk Haven. You did also play on Dusk Haven.
Me?
No, Otorak, you're someone from my chat right now.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
You haven't played on Dusk Haven. I know that from you.
No, I didn't. I heard about it, but I never played it.
Yeah, it was great. It was really, really good. Also 3.3.5 client, Classic Plus. But they decided to shut it down. I mean, it also bugged all the time and it was laggy and stuff was just not balanced. But it was fun to play.
Yeah. Another thing about Epoch is I heard a lot of people talk about, they think Turtle Hour has been DDoSing them. I don't personally think that's the case.
I thought it's possible before this all started. I thought this might be a possible thing which could happen, but I don't think this is the problem right now. It's not DDoSing or stuff like this. This is just a server issue they have right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of competition from those private servers, right? Because it's if you have a lot of players, they tend to give them a little bit of money for their shops and stuff like this. And that was also the reason from Elysium and Nostarius back in the day, right?
That's how they kept running and people were earning a little bit from it.
Yeah, and in the back there, they also had some problems because of money, I heard. I don't know what's true of it, but I mean, I could guess, right? And because of this, there is some competition in the scene, but I don't think that's a problem here right now at the moment.
No, they specifically said so as well. It's internal on their coding part. But again, I got no clue exactly what it is. I don't think anybody really does. We may have speculations, but they haven't specifically gone into detail, and I wouldn't understand if they did anyway. So.
Yeah.
But there's really not much to do other than to wait. There's no need to sit in this login screen trying to log in constantly. Unless they specifically ask on the updates, hey, we want to test something. We're opening up the server. Could you please log in, see how it runs?
Yeah. And there is absolutely no reason to insult people on Discord over this or stuff like that. I mean, just use your time up to do something else. Enjoy life. Yeah. There are so many great things to do in life. Even if we can't play Project Epoch right now, there are probably better things to do than insulting other people, right?
Yeah. Definitely. One thing that I don't know if we can go into this or if you have the time. How long have you been going right now?
I'm fine. My wife is not home right now. I have about 30 more minutes, I guess.
I think a lot of my community and my viewers, they know me, of course, and they also know there are two things that I don't like. Those are, flying and PvP specific stats. You probably also know by now.
Yeah,
So
I can guess.
it's one thing I wish Project Epoch would change is instead of PvP specific stats, and I had this talk with Melt as well some time ago, and he asked me why not just have resilience? What's the problem with resilience? In my view, the problem with resilience is if I have to choose two paths, say I have to choose between PvE and PvP, which I feel like I have to because I don't want to grind two different sets. That's annoying to me. That also kind of kills it, the amount of time that I have to spend to grind out two different sets. So I'm going to go with PvE, PvP then, because that's what I find the most replayable and most fun. If I had to choose between the two, which I don't want to, because I want to play both. I want to play both PvE and PvP. But if you're saying, well, there's not really any incentive or reward for you to do PvE that you can't get from PvP, well, then I'm not going to do PvE. And if you say, well, there are few rewards from PvE, then maybe I'll consider it, but I won't spend a lot of time on it. So I'd just feel like I'd be forced to do PvP because that's the only real gearing progression or gear way for me. And it's kind of a boring progression because there are not many options. Usually it comes down to one or two different sets with a stat template on it. Basically, just like in vanilla, you had the High Warlord's gear. It had, that's the gear you would go for. There wouldn't be any kind of different set. There wasn't much you could. In a better example is probably TBC. You went to the gear vendor and he had, for your rogue, he had one set. That's the set. That's the gear you want. There are no freedom to mix and match however you like. Do you follow me?
Yeah, sure. I completely understand your point. My question is for this because I think you need some sort of stat to balance PvP out. Was there ever an iteration of World of Warcraft where it was running, where it was working like this, except for Classic WoW? In Classic WoW, you didn't have any PvP stat, yeah? But in every other iteration...
Stamina was your PvP stat, or is your PvP stat in vanilla. And then later versions, I think it was in Legion, what they did there is they just put a they got rid of resilience. They got rid of PvP specific stats in some expansion. I can't remember. I think it was Legion, but I can't remember, so don't quote me on that. But they got rid of PvP specific stats. You join PvP with every gear, but what they did was they just reduced overall damage in PvP by something like 20%. So that people weren't dampening. They had dampening as well for healing, yeah. And that's a band-aid fix, I get that, but it's a better fix, in my opinion, because now you still have gear freedom. You have the freedom to mix and match whatever gear you like. So you have a big incentive to do whatever type of content you want to do, because you can use it all in every avenue or every aspect of the game. As soon as you say, well, you can only use PvP gear in PvP, and you can only use PvE gear in PvE, then you're splitting people, and those people who want to focus mainly on PvE, they won't even touch PvP because what's the incentive? And the same the other way around.
Yeah, but I mean, not everyone, even if there would be the problem is if you can get the best gear in the game from, let's say, PvP, you get some pieces here and you get other stuff from PvE, then you're forcing players to do this sort of content, and not every player wants to do this, right? I think it's not a good idea to force players to do stuff because if you have this carrot on a stick in front of them, they will follow it, right? Especially in MMOs. And because of this, they need to do PvP, and PvP has some skill at least in it. So not everyone can get this, right? And this will give those players frustration, right? If they can't achieve this. I think that's not a good way of balancing gear or give gear out in a game. I mean, as you want to say it, so you should get everything from both aspects, right? So you should get everything from PvP and everything from PvE, and you can use it in both. In both directions,
basically
right?
try to put as much effort as you can into balancing it so that one type of gear isn't extremely better than it's okay that there are some things that are better than other things, so that you're kind of forcing people. Say you want to have the best of the best of the best gear, and there's the best bracers you can get is from PvP, and the best shoulders you can get is from PvE. That way, you're incentivizing people to play the entire game and not just parts of the game, which, in my opinion, is how it should be. It's fine for me if you can say, okay, well, this weapon is the best, and you find it by killing Ragnars, and then you get Hand of Ragnar. That's just the best in PvE and PvP and everything, basically. That's fine with me that there are these items. I don't think it should be completely balanced between the two.
Yeah, but especially in an MMO like classic World of Warcraft, not everyone wants to do PvP. Players do raids, and raids are easy, right? They don't even have hard mechanics. They most of the time just do it to play together with other people or to simply
that should be
relax
okay.
a little
That should
bit.
be okay.
Yeah,
that should be okay. Like some
those
people don't want to
players-
level. Some people don't want to level to 60, and that's also okay. You can stop at level 30 and explore the game. That's okay. It's okay. You can't. If you want the best of the best, it's okay. Don't do PvP. Then just accept that, like it is to get to level 60. Back in the day, back in 2000, there was a lot of people who never even got to level 6, never even got into a single raid. Should we reduce all the difficulty of all raids and boost everyone to level 60 just so to accommodate those people? That's what I mean. It's okay. It's okay that there are aspects of the game you don't get to see, and it's okay you're not getting the best gear because you don't like PvP or because you don't like raiding. Okay, well then you get something close to it, so long as it's not a huge gap between the two. Because you could say people felt forced to grind the rank 14 weapons in vanilla. Well, maybe that was too huge of a gap then. If everyone feel forced to do that, but that's also part of the min-max culture, which I disagree with. I don't think that's a healthy culture.
Absolutely. I have absolutely the same opinion about this. I also hate it. But it's part of the game.
It is part of the game, and people can choose to participate in it, and they can choose not to participate in it. I think if you choose to participate in it, then you have to accept that there are some items that are better for that overall good, even if it's an avenue of the game you don't particularly enjoy. If, say, I want to get the best gear, if it's to preserve the health of the game, and that best weapon drops from the last boss in a PvE raid, but I hate doing PvE, I feel like, okay, well then I have to kind of accept that I have to do PvE if I want to get that weapon. In the same way, if I want to play in raids, I have to accept that I have to get to level 60 and I have to grind some pre-raid bis gear, even though I might not enjoy that. I enjoy the thing that comes after that. That's my reward, right? You eat your dinner, then you get your dessert. You maybe want your dessert to start with, but that's not how it works.
But I think I have a big problem with this. The same point I said before. You say we are talking about this min-maxing people, right? Those are the people who would go into PvP because there is the best weapon, right? So in PvP you have competitiveness. It's the same as, for example, League of Legends. You can rank up there in different divisions and get higher. And those people want to achieve this. But the problem is not everyone is able to achieve it there. And then those people get toxic. And I think that's a big problem for the game overall, because this toxicity, those people will spread out, will hurt the game. And you force this by forcing those players to do stuff they don't want to do or they can't
What toxicity?
achieve.
What toxicity?
If you play, let's say, for example, PvP, you have to do arena, and you have to get to 1.8 rating or something like this to get your weapon, the best weapon compared to PvE, as your example was, right? So those players have to get to this point, and I'm pretty sure not everyone is able to get to this point. And those players will get toxic on the way, and they will also start to be toxic to other players. And this will hurt the community, in my opinion, because you forced, as a designer of the game, you force those players to do stuff they probably can't get or they don't want to do. I think that's not a good design. It's not a good design for a game, in my opinion, overall.
But there will always be things you can't achieve.
Yeah, I know. I know that, Shield, but those players probably don't know that.
But that's, I think, in my opinion, that's just part of growing up, understanding that there are some things you won't be able to get, even if you try hard at getting them. And that's okay. You have to accept you'll get second place sometimes, you'll get third place sometimes, even fifth place sometimes. You won't have the best weapon, you won't have the best gear, even if you try your best sometimes. And that's, I think that's okay. Another completely different point is, okay, let's say there's this big problem between PvE and PvP. One other thing you could do is just completely remove PvP gear from the game and say there's only PvE gear. You get your gear from dungeons and raids and whatever other, let's say, professions and another aspect of the game. Let's add another aspect that's unrelated to PvP. That's how you get your gear. There's no PvP gear. Does that fix the problem?
I mean, another option is what Project Epoch is doing for open world, right? They just give out cosmetics. I think that's a really, really cool idea.
Yep.
Or that's a good way to, reward players with just time, or they will do something they like because you are also a world PvP guy, right? You will do world PvP and you get special cosmetic rewards, which is cool because you can show off what you do and you can enjoy what you do, right? And you don't have to get a rating or something like this with this. So this is a really cool way of enforcing PvP, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think. But I wouldn't have a problem with them or with a game like this just removing PvP gear and just say there's no, you don't get gear from doing PvP. You get something else. You can get mounts. You can maybe get a title or some other cosmetic rewards. You can open up specific game power or things that aren't, massively game changing or power gated, but PvP in and of itself should be a reward. I wouldn't mind that. I think a lot of people would mind that, but I personally wouldn't mind that. But that's just to, put the point on display that a lot of games work that way. Let's say, imagine you play Dota and half of the items in the shop are oriented to PvP. The other half are PvE items. What's the point of the PvE items in a game of Dota?
I mean, yeah, but those are comparing apples to, how do you say it? Apples to pineapples? I don't know how you say this in English, but I mean, World of Warcraft has those PvE aspects and those PvP aspects, right? Dota is just a competitive PvP game. So you don't have to...
No, there is also PvE in Dota. That's just jungling.
But that's just a way to get more gold, to get back to PvPing, right? The same as League of Legends. I mean, jungling is, you fight.
That's how I see World of Warcraft. That's how I see World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but those are two different games. Those are two different balance systems behind it.
True, but there are a lot of parallels. Even the stats and stuff like that. There are a lot of parallels. And a lot of PvPers, I think they do see World of Warcraft as a PvP game. And the way you get your gear is, well, you go into raids and dungeons, you get your gear, and then you go into PvP with that gear. And that's kind of also how it works in Dota. You jungle a lot. You also do PvP to get the gold to buy your items to get better gear so you can create a stronger character.
Yeah, I don't
I know
know.
it's a far-fetched one.
Yeah.
But I think there are some parallels to it.
Yeah, I can see some, but I think it's hard simplified. I think it's not so easy to balance it out in World of Warcraft because it's just more complex. The whole system is more complex for this. I mean,
Absolutely.
the main problem, if we go back to your first point about should there be a PvP stat or a resilience stat or something like this?
Yeah.
The main problem we have is that it's hard to balance out healers if you don't have anything which reduces heal, right? Because the only other way is stamina, as you already said, right? So you have to
increasing health would solve it,
Yeah, exactly.
would solve the healing problem. Yeah.
So, but healers will scale way higher with stamina and more health than DPS does, right? We saw this in Season of Discovery. They tried it in the first phase and second phase, and healers, they had no PvP stat or something like this in Battlegrounds, and healers were just out-healing everyone. They were out-healing more DPSs, 2 or 3 DPSs who were hitting on them, and it was, healers are too powerful for this. So you need some sort to at least put dampening in the game, but you can't do this in open world, right? You have to do it in an instanced playground. Otherwise, you can't just give everyone dampening after some time there in the world or something like this. That's also not working. And because this is also a complexer problem, basically, it's easier to use a stat which is just playing a bit with the numbers in between, right? To make it all more balanced for all overall. If you do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
Yeah, you could also just put some PvP stat on every single item in the game. That would also basically do the same thing. The only issue I actually have, I don't have specifically an issue with PvP stats per se or resilience, because you could say stamina was a PvP stat from the beginning. My issue is that I only have a checklist of items I can go get if I want to only focus on PvP. If I have to choose between PvE and PvE, as I said before, I choose PvP. So what options do I have for gearing now? Well, I only have a list of options. I have a checklist. So game becomes a checklist simulator for me. I go through the checklist, and then that's it.
Yeah,
I have no real options.
But that's the same with PvE, right? That's the carrot on the stick for everyone who's playing an MMO in the long run.
Well, because the game has been figured out, yes. Not because you're forced into it, but because the game has been figured out. So you know already what is the best items for you. But I think in any RPG, anything that has the name RPG in it, whether that be an MMO RPG or just an RPG, should give you a bunch of options on how to gear your character. That's the ideal, right? That's what we're striving for. That's the whole point of the game, in my opinion.
That's why I play hybrid classes, so I can get more gear for different specs.
And you can mix and match, and you can come up with your own unique build that does something special, something unique, something cool. I think that's the value of an RPG. Else we would all be playing Marvel Rivals or some other Counter-Strike or some other PvP game if the only thing we liked about the PvP part was the competitiveness. Then the gear aspect didn't matter at all. But a lot of people enjoy World of Warcraft PvP because it is in an RPG and you can create your own character with its specific build and setup, which brings so much nuance into the competitive play.
Yeah, but to be honest, competitive play is always circling around the meta. The meta is changing a little bit, but there are always cookie cutter builds which are just good until they get adjusted, right?
And that's why they're constantly adjusting or patching stuff in games like Dota and stuff like that.
Exactly.
If they want to balance a game that is this complex, then they need to constantly change. Just subtle changes. It don't even need to be big changes, but just subtle changes to one ability or spell is going to shift something in another direction. Unlike Counter-Strike, which is everyone gets the same template. You could say, well, then there are weapons, and that brings another nuance into the game. And you maybe not need to change those as long as you're good enough at balancing between those items.
But in those games, you need more skill. That's a difference to an MMO. MMO is giving you this template with stats
Do you
and
need
stuff
more
around
skill in
it.
Counter-Strike? Do you need
Yeah,
more
for
skill
sure.
in Counter-Strike?
Yeah,
World of Warcraft?
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So if I take a
Completely.
new player who hasn't played World of Warcraft and hasn't played Counter-Strike, do you think it would require more skill from him to learn World of Warcraft or to learn Counter-Strike than to learn World of Warcraft?
If he wants to be good, yes. But the problem is you
Really?
probably can't learn it. You can just train it, right? I mean, on World of Warcraft, you just learn the basics and you go, right? It's not a complex game. Counter-Strike is also not a complex game for sure. If you play it for the first time, you go in, you shoot, you die, okay. But if you want to get good at it at Counter-Strike, it's way harder to train this game and learn this game, right? Compared to World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, you learn your setups, you learn your compositions, you learn the classes, and you know what to do with those classes
It's
and the
just a
buttons.
different learning path. There are a lot more keybinds, a lot more abilities you need to press. There are a lot more things you need to understand. You not only need to understand your own class, but you need to understand every single other class and what they are able to do. In Counter-Strike, as long as you understand it, if you get aimed at and shot at, you're going to die. So avoid that. That's very simple. So now all you need to train is understanding where is the enemy going to stand and come from, and where exactly am I going to aim, and how exactly am I going to move. You need to understand the map more than anything, and you need to understand or practice, aiming skill.
Exactly. You need
World
to
of
practice
Warcraft
way
is
more.
still, they're not way more.
I
I don't know
think
if
so.
it's way more.
I would say
Depends
so,
on
yes.
how good you want to get.
Yeah, but there is a cap, right? I mean, for World of Warcraft MMO, there is a cap, right? To get good to a point. I mean, you can get at higher ratings and stuff like this, but the competition is not that hard. In Counter-Strike, for example, the competition is way harder and you have to train way more to get better than other people, to get better in your aim and stuff like this. I think that's way more challenging than learning an MMO in PvP, in my example, in my opinion, sorry.
I don't know. I think a lot of complexity comes into learning, playing against every other classes. I think it's very, very hard to compare the two.
Yeah, I think so too. The problem is you also need way more reflexes and stuff like this for Counter-Strike, right? You don't need those you need it a little bit for PvP in World of Warcraft, but it's way harder in Counter-Strike, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially with the as you get older, you get slower. And
I think that's something you can't. Not sure if you can't
part
train.
Of it, yeah, exactly. It's just you get slower as you get older. That's why every what's it called? Every competitive play that comes down to reflex and skill like that, the people are young. They're in 16, 15, 16, maybe up to 20. And then usually, if you look at it statistically, it starts to decline.
Give me a short second. I need to open the door.
Sure. Shall the Counter-Strike and WoW is brain dead. Dota is high skill. That's why all the League players quit after one game of Dota. That's what they say, isn't it? Dota requires more skill than League of Legends.
Alright, sorry, I'm back. Wife just came home.
Somebody says here, I've seen a video of where a guy gives his wife a WoW account to see how she does as a new player with no guidance. She has lots of trouble. And I bet if you gave that wife a Counter-Strike account or sat her down to play Counter-Strike, she'll get the grips of it a lot faster.
I don't know.
You don't think that she'll understand what the game's about and how to move and how to play the game faster?
I think she will.
Counter-Strike is a very, very simple game.
Yeah, but that's way if we go out from this experience level where the person can't use a keyboard for World of Warcraft, right? this person won't also be able to use a keyboard and a mouse for Counter-Strike. And then it's just frustrating because then people come and you just die all the time, right?
Of course, it would be, yeah. But I think it's easier to learn a simple game than it is to learn a complex game. But a simple game can have more depth because then what you need to learn to get better at that game can be more complex than a a game that starts out as being complex. Does that make sense? WoW is there are many things you need to learn, but once you learn them, you're right that there could be a cap to that. Then okay, I just click my character, I press the spells in the correct order, and that's the cap. Now I've learned everything I can. There's no more here to improve. While Counter-Strike is on the surface extremely simple. Okay, take the aim, point it at the enemy, and shoot. That's it. Okay, now I need to learn to understand the map. Where can the enemies come from? And how do I avoid getting shot while also shooting the enemy? And that can go into a lot of depth in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree with you that I also think that Counter-Strike, for example, is way harder to get better on a higher level, right? While World of Warcraft is, you can get to a certain point and then you're good to go and can probably beat everyone. I would say something like this. In Counter-Strike, that's not so easy on a high level, but it's easier to get into the game with Counter-Strike.
Yeah, maybe. I think that a lot of the really, really high-end PvP players, Pishiro and Perplexity and Monkey News and those guys, they are just ahead of a lot of people in PvP in World of Warcraft as well. And I think if you compare that to someone like Shroud and how good are they at first-person shooter games like PUBG and modern, Warzone and Counter-Strike and stuff like that. I think it's the same kind of distance between these different areas of play, or these, like a new character or new person that's new to the game is the same difference there would be from these good players in this MMO compared to the players in Counter-Strike.
But I think in both games, you always hit a wall after a certain time, right? You get better, you have a learning curve, you think you are better than some players, and then there is just a wall. And you have to be over this wall to get better, to come again to the circle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
In competitiveness.
Yeah.
I think that's something which both have. I mean, I can think about myself when I was learning PvP, arena, and retail. I got to 1000, I got to 1.4k, I got to 1.8k, and then I played a lot of League of Legends, for example. I hit diamond there for some time, and then I tried to get better, and it's possible, but you have to train a lot, right? And during your training, there are always those barriers in between. And I think it's to come back to the argument with Counter-Strike and World of Warcraft, I think in World of Warcraft, it's a bit easier to get past those barriers because a lot of this is possible with knowledge. You can read guides, you can read videos.
I agree with that completely.
You can understand your class better and the other classes. While in Counter-Strike,
way more transparent. How do I get better? What are the simple things I need to master? There are more of them, but they are easy to understand. I completely agree with you. Yeah.
While in Counter-Strike, it's sometimes it's not something you can learn. You have to get your aim better, for example, you have to be faster. And I think that's way harder to train to get better at some point.
Yeah, in that sense, I agree with you. It's also something that, maybe partly genetic to a sense, like how good are your reflexes.
Yeah, I mean, you can train this, right? It's not just genetic. It's not just you're a genius or something like this. You can also train this, but I think it's harder to improve this instead of just learning the theory.
Yeah. But there's a reason why all of the really, really high-end competitive players, or many of them, are of Asian descent. That's not just coincidence. There's a ton of them that are really, really fast.
Oh, we are getting stereotypical now.
Well, is it stereotypical if it's a truth? Maybe it is, but
I don't know.
well, if you just look at it statistically, a lot of them are fast and extremely good at the games.
It's a really rough topic for me. I'm German. I can't go into this.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, that turned completely into a completely different topic than what my
Absolutely,
thumbnail
yeah.
shows.
It's always
But,
PvP with
yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I love.
Yeah. Yeah, but was an interesting talk overall. I have
Absolutely.
to put the stream to an end now because
Yeah.
I have to get up early tomorrow. But yeah, thank you really much for the talk again. We also want to do our 2v2 arena and 3v3 arena tier list, right? Which we will do probably next week for Project Epoch at the moment. Maybe if we have other topics, we will do these talks again and we just go live and just talk about things we are interested in, right?
Isaac says 2 top Epoch content creators in one stream. Poggers. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you all very much for watching.
He became a member recently on my channel.
Ooh.
So that's really
awesome.
Really appreciate that. And we just, to finish this off, we just hope, I hope that it'll come up during the week. A lot of you votes probably take 2 weeks. I think it'll come up this weekend. But we have our fingers crossed that it won't be longer, at least, than 2 weeks, hopefully. Yeah. Somebody wrote 3 months. I hope not.
Let's hope not. And maybe some last words, please. I hope for at least from our communities, those are not the people who are insulting the devs. Don't pressure the devs, give them time and let them do their stuff. They are working really hard to get it to work, right?
Exactly. And guys, thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to Wider on his channel as well.
And to Shield.
Of course, mine. Yeah. So we'll be putting out a lot more content as soon as we can, and as soon as also, hopefully, when the servers come back online.
All right.